Hi there, Ruth.
Hi, Dr. Sabri. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
You're well,
Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
really well.
Yeah,
How's your mom?
you look good.
Thank you. So do you.
Oh, thank you. It must
How's
be
your
nice.
How's your mom?
She's doing okay. Thank you for asking. I've spending quite a bit of time talking to her on the phone periodically. It looks like her spirits are up, and we're trying to get her through this winter, which is going to be tough. But she sounds like she's in good spirits right now, which is very, very good.
Good. And how's Shannon?
She's great. Oh, Shannon's, yeah, perfect.
Good.
Yeah. How's Dolly doing?
Great. Dolly, come here.
I can see her.
Come here. Come here. Over here. Hop, hop. Jump up.
Oh,
That's it.
oh, what a
Show
girl.
us your face, girl.
What
Show
a
us your
girl.
face.
Hi.
Here, let's bring her around this way. Come here.
What a sweetheart.
Go this way. That's it. Hop, hop. That's my
Oh,
girl.
all right, that's beautiful. Love that. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. That's great. I just took a picture of you. I'm going to send it to you because that's beautiful.
She um she will often come knock my hands off the piano.
Really? That's great.
Ross did that too when he wanted attention and he's angry
Oh, that's,
and on forever. So I just laugh at her when she does it.
oh, that's really nice.
All right, good girl. She's doing great. She's been healthy and well.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Ryan's healthy. So I take it you are back home in Modesto.
I'm now back home in Modesto. Yes, I am.
Okay.
After
Okay.
2 weeks that I spent in Oakland on the way back because I wanted to quarantine just to be safe.
Right.
But I'm back at home in my studio, which is, a blessing, of course.
I bet. I bet. Well, I enjoyed seeing you and I love this opportunity.
Yeah, well, same here. Absolutely. I received your scores, and I'm looking at the Haydn and the Debussy and wondering if you'd like to start with either of those, or if you would like to talk a little bit about the Bach and then move on to the Debussy. Well, how would you like to proceed?
Well, I am doing well on all of them. I mean, fairly well, except for the Haydn.
Yeah,
And no matter how long I practice the Haydn, I don't make progress. So
yeah,
I want to make sure and cover that with you. I mean,
absolutely.
I don't make progress.
Yeah,
On the other hand, I like to show off a little bit.
ab-
So I love to play the ones that I know a little bit better too.
absolutely.
So I don't know how to arrange that.
One thing I have to say about the Haydn is that it's really, really tricky rhythmically. Very tricky. It's almost like, you have to be so clear about how to count those subdivisions, and I think
Right.
the success lies on your ability to count the eighth note. If you use the eighth note as your guiding value, then you're going to be on safer ground than if you try to count it in one. If you're trying to count the quarter note, for example, it's going to be challenging. I think if you count the eighth note, it'll be a little simpler.
That surprisingly is what I started doing, but I didn't. And so I set my metronome and was playing one on each eighth note,
Mhm.
if that makes any sense.
Right.
So instead of setting for 3/4, I set it for 6/4, very slowly.
You can.
I'll have you listen to what I've done with it. If you feel like this isn't worthy of all the time, you can let me know. But
No, no, no.
way back when I took lessons from Audrey Andrus, she said that I had such an ear for melody that she wanted to assign this to me.
Yeah.
And I was always afraid to tackle it.
Yeah.
But if after you listen, you say, Ruth, you're not on the right track, maybe there's something else we can do that's similar.
No,
I'll leave that up.
no, no, no. Okay. So first of all, if this is the piece that you want to play, this is the piece that we will play for sure. I will do my darnest to make sure that you can play this piece. I won't give up on the first lesson for sure. There's no question. All I wanted to say is that you can count the first measure. You can do it this way. You can do And that's if you count the quarter note 1, 2, 3, right? You can count it like this. Or you can take the eighth note and 2 and 3 and 1. You can take the eighth note, and that's going to make things significantly simpler when you're trying to arrange, where to come in, and especially in light of the 30-second notes. Um, and I see that you've written your counts on some of these measures. That is excellent practice, by the way. I think that having your written your counts is really going to help you. But we can leave that for a minute. What would you like to play for me first?
Um, let me play. You want to hear the etude? I've been working on that.
Sure. The Etude by Peter Dvorak.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, that'll be great.
I enjoyed that one because it wasn't. It was faster.
Yeah, isn't that a great little piece? I really like that piece.
Yeah.
By the way, Ruth, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but the
Cool.
the internet connection is a little shaky. Not sure if you're aware of it, but the internet connection is a little shaky.
Okay.
The
I
time-
don't know what to do about that.
How far away are you from your modem?
It's right next door.
Okay.
Let me ask Brian if he can reset it.
Maybe there's a way that you could, because I know mine is right there, and I usually get pretty good connection. So is there a way that you could use a cable to your modem? Maybe we can get started and see what happens. But so far it's frozen a couple of times, and I'm not able to hear everything that you're saying. So just so you know.
Okay. Let me ask Brian to restart it, and we'll try that.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be here.
Hey, I'm tech support.
Hi, Brian. How are you? How's it going?
Oh, credible, just credible.
Good.
Let me see here. We have a backup software, and sometimes it decides to run when you need it, when you need your computer the most. You don't have Carbonite running.
Okay. I'll just do the best with what we've got, but I was hoping there was a simple solution.
Well, I mean, you can load Process Monitor.
Hi, baby girl.
No, what's it called? So what is it? What's the symptom?
The image gets frozen, and the sound stops broadcasting. So I get chunks of like 2 seconds that
Can I kill your browser?
looser. Say again? I didn't catch that last time. I'm sorry, Brian.
She runs Facebook in the background. I think that'll help, actually.
Okay.
Let me. Are we still there? We're still on.
Yeah, we're here.
Task manager. Okay. Resource monitor. Okay, it looks to me like things are running normally.
Okay. Good.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah, I see the only thing using network traffic is Zoom. CPU is not crawling.
Okay.
Disk is doing some stuff, but what's the disk doing?
Thank you, Brian.
Get that.
Yeah, it looks like it's operating normally. If it's the internet, then we'll have to restart the whole thing.
Okay.
All right, we'll hope we don't have to do that.
Okay, Ruth. So we're gonna get started with the Dvorak Etude, all right?
Yes.
Sounds good. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Brava.
Could you hear it?
Yeah, I could hear all of it. Yeah, very nice. There are just a couple of glitches, but in general, it's good. I'm talking about the internet broadcasting. The playing is fantastic, Ruth. Nice work. This is really good. You seem very, very comfortable with the piece. So musical under your hands. My God, I think Peter Dvorak would be so happy to hear you play this. Really,
Play it.
you're such a musical player. My God. Okay, so the only couple of observations that I would make are the dynamic range. When you get to measure 17, for example, there's a forte there, right?
Yes.
That's one thing, by the way, that the internet doesn't do very well. So maybe you're playing the correct dynamics and I just can't hear it. The sound doesn't, the dynamics don't always translate very well over Zoom. So maybe you are playing forte, but maybe try to exaggerate your loud sections, play them a little louder, your soft sections a little softer. Maybe the very beginning of the piece could be a little softer. And when you get to the forte section here, all of this, what is it? Especially here, try to open it more.
Okay.
So we, we hear the same melody, but this time like the whole orchestra, like the whole ensemble is playing. At the beginning, there's only one instrument. Maybe there's a voice or a flute, an accompaniment, and then the second time we have a whole ensemble playing. Think about it more in that kind of the context of a different texture. So dynamics is one thing, and then on the second page, I think if you count these measures with the eighth note, measure 38, measure 39, all of this. That seemed to be a little glitchy. I'm not sure if it was the internet. Could you try maybe 39 to 41 one more time? Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I would exaggerate the syncopations maybe a little bit more. Excuse me. Maybe make the second chord on measure 40 a little shorter, like this. Even though it's just a quarter note, if you play an eighth note, I think it might be more effective. Do you hear the difference?
Yes.
On this one? So we can really hear and enjoy that syncopation. Try it once, please.
At 41?
Try 40 and 41 again, please. Would you mind starting at 40 one more time?
Oh, okay.
The other thing that gets lost a little bit is the left hand. There's a middle voice. Give me 1 second, Ruth, please. My wife is calling me. I need to tell her I'm gonna listen. 1 second, please. My apologies. She forgot I had a lesson.
Problem.
It was on her calendar. You didn't see it. Okay, so this one, the inner voice on the left hand of measure 40, 37, 30, 39. I'll do it slowly once. That last F I cannot hear. Also, if you could take a breather, if you could take one breath before you go on to the pickup to 41, doesn't have to be totally straight. If you take a little bit of time there, it would sound like this. Again, sorry. Because we're going into a different section that is not as rhythmic, it's a little bit more lyrical. If you take a little bit of time. Just ever so slightly, I think would be nice. And then the other thing that I heard at the very end, by the way, do you know what he's trying to quote here? You know where that quote is from? That's from Gershwin, from the Rhapsody in Blue.
No, I didn't know that.
I can't remember exactly what section it goes to. If you listen to the Rhapsody in Blue, he just lifted it from I think it's an homage. It's not really a lift. More like an homage to Gershwin.
Right.
But
Right.
you count it: one and two and three and four and one, two, one, two, three, four. And the same thing here for the next measure: one and two and one and two, one and two. That has to be a little bit more rhythmic. This is tricky, by the way. I wonder what finger you're using there for the G.
I started on 5. Is that right?
You know what I would say? One and two. If you're gonna play 5, I hope you're playing 5, 3, 2, 1.
I was playing 5/4,
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. If
and
you
it was funky.
if you want to play 5, honestly, I would say play 4, 3, 2, 1 is probably better. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2 is a better deal, I think. And then you're gonna play the C on the next measure with second finger. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. The 2 is the C of the next measure.
Don't you want to end on 1 so you can do that octave?
Not in this case. Yeah, the difficulty is not nearly as challenging as the difficulty of playing the 16 notes correctly. So you always go with the greatest difficulty, which is the 16 notes being even. You want them to be really crisp and even. Yakatakatam-pam. If you land on 2, you can make that octave or whatever leap it is, no problem. Even if you play it with second finger.
Okay.
So play 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. Would you try it once, please?
Whoops.
Yeah, and you know what I would do? I would practice the octaves this way. If you look at the camera for a second of the screen, I would practice
Okay.
my second finger and my second and pinky fingers. I would practice. Become an expert at playing octaves with these 2 fingers, so that when you do, you can nail it every time.
Okay.
That's going to give you the rhythmic accuracy that you need for those 16 notes. And the syncopations at the end also. And it has to be really on the money, otherwise you won't hear the. Quite frankly, I don't think this is a very good ending. I think he wrote a beautiful piece with a really crappy ending, but that's just my opinion. But we have to play what's on the page, and in order for that syncopation to make sense, it has to be played right on the money. We can't really extend the tempo there, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you can stay there longer if you want to.
Okay.
But it's wonderful, Ruth. This is really good. I mean, yeah, great.
I thought the coda was. I thought the coda didn't fit with the rest, but
Me
hey,
neither.
I didn't write it.
No, me neither. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I think he could have done something better, but maybe he was in a hurry. God knows, you know.
It's beautiful nonetheless.
All right, great. So, are you thinking about including that in your program?
I definitely want to.
Okay, good for you. That's great. All right. Now, you want to move on to the Haydn since it's
I'd like to.
let's do that.
What I'll do,
Uh-huh.
I can tell you where I'm having trouble, or I can just start playing from the beginning.
Why don't we go to the trouble spot first, and I want to address those spots, make sure that we have enough time to cover those spots, and then you can go back to the top and play it for me.
All right. Starting on the second page.
Yeah.
Let's see which measure.
Oh, we don't have the numbers, huh?
Measure 43.
Do we have measure numbers?
I do. If you've got my copy, they're numbered.
Oh,
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
There's
7 measures.
33,
I don't know which copy you have.
I have a copy that doesn't have measured numbers, but
Okay, all right, let's see here.
I can find it.
So,
I can see what 32 is on the previous page: 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. Got it.
okay, you see that weird, um, that I haven't been able to get to play that. So I'll play it for you
Okay.
the way I've been doing it, and you're going to laugh at me.
Can you play? Can you play from the top of the variation, please? Play from the top.
Yes, yes. And that's
Yeah,
see what I'm having trouble with there?
very little trouble actually. Almost imperceptible from here. I didn't really notice any. Maybe you slow down a little bit on measure. Oh God, I lost track of the measure number. I'm sorry. What measure number were we in? Is that
That's where I'm having trouble.
39, 40, 41, 43 on measure 43 and 44. I noticed you slowing down a little bit. Would you play from 43 directly, right here?
Maybe you can just play that. Okay.
I better, right?
It amazes me.
Okay. Yeah, if anything, Ruth, I think maybe the counting for the right hand, the last 16th note of every measure is a little bit off, but not by much. So if you're counting 1 and 2 and 2, let me see how I can count this. I can count the 16th note. Let's try. 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 2 1 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna count the 16th note at that moment. Is it possible for you to count and play, or is that gonna complicate matters?
Um, I can do it.
How about if you try the right hand only counting the 16 note? Let me demonstrate once how it would sound if I play the right hand only. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and 2. Would you try that for me?
1 E and 2 E and 3 E and oops. Is that right? Yes, it was.
That's exactly right. The trick is being able to keep the counting alive at the same tempo. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. Nice and steady.
1 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and.
Okay, so the D is going to come in on the 2E, on the E of 2. So 1E and the 2E on the E of 2. 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the. Again?
1, 8, and 2, 8, and 3.
That's right. That was much better. You're still slowing down a little bit on the count. Be careful not to slow down on the count.
Okay, would it help to do it with the metronome when I'm practicing or not?
Probably, as long as you don't become a slave to the metronome, yes. So,
Okay, and then I see the next measure is exactly the same thing. So do that the same way and the next one the same way.
here's the metronome. 1E and the 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 1E and the 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 1E and the. So this is
Okay,
being recorded. I'll send you the link like I did last time, and hopefully that will help you.
yes, it will.
Okay.
The next place I had difficulty was where it says, well, my book, it says the second theme starts.
Okay.
And there you'll see that you have 2 against 6,
Yeah.
or 2 against 3. So I'd like you to listen to that and see if I'm on the right track.
Go ahead. Yes, please.
And is it okay if I use a little pedal on there?
Oh, absolutely. You have to use pedal here. Yeah, no question.
Is that close?
That sounds lovely. That sounds perfect. That's right on the money. I don't hear anything wrong with that. Exactly right.
Okay, then when you go to the next page, I'm going to play you what I've been doing.
Okay.
I slowed down on this page because for some reason, the next page, so into the next section. So
36.
you repeat the second theme.
Okay, now we have measure numbers. Okay, I see the measure numbers. Yeah.
Okay, so at measure 67,
Go ahead.
and I'm going to play how I'm doing it, and then maybe you'll have some suggestions.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, yeah, this is also very close. This one is a little trickier because of the fact that you have the triplets in the right in the left hand, and you have 4 32nd notes in the right hand. So the quickest way I think to solve that, Ruth, would be to take out the biggest challenge right now is playing the 3 against 4, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you get to that section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a makeshift version of this piece for a moment, just so we can get through the difficulty. And that makeshift version of this moment is going to be to take out the triplet on the last eighth note of measure 68. You're going to take out the triplet in the left hand. You're just going to play the C. So it's going to sound like this. If I play the left hand at 68, only the C. and then you're gonna get comfortable. This is just a makeshift, by the way. We're gonna go back to the original in a minute, and then you're gonna play your right hand by itself, tapping the eighth note. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. So tapping if you can tap the eighth note, maybe you can tap it on your lap. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. By the way, if you notice that the 4/16 notes, excuse me, the 4/32 notes are not nearly as fast as you think they are. They're ya da da ba bum. They're still very lyrical, right? So ya ba 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 bum bum. They're not nearly as fast as you think they are.
Well, that's interesting. One of the things that is causing me a problem is I think it has to go really, really quickly.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, that's actually everybody's. You're in good company there. We all
And
think
I actually tense up. Oh no, here it comes! You know, that's what I do.
the triplet of the left hand keeps going, and you feel like if I don't play fast enough, the triplet is going to beat me. But the truth is, the triplet is actually, and the eighth note is a lot longer than you think. So would you do me a favor and play 68 like this? 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Only that much, please.
1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah, just make sure you hit that and on the nose. You came in a little bit early on the 3 and the and portion of 3. Try to come in exactly. Don't anticipate it. Wait for the beat.
1 and 2 and 3 and.
That's perfect. That's exactly right. So I want you to get really comfortable with that version. Maybe play it an octave higher. And 2 and 3 and 1 and 1. Yup, up, 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 bum. Sing it. La, 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 lum. Yup, up, 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 bum. Again.
1 and.
That's perfect. Yeah, if you could sing it even more, yeah, da, 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 dum. You can even elongate it a little bit like this. And 2 and 3. See how I'm elongating a little bit, making it very, very lyrical, right? Yeah, da, 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 dum. Yeah, that sounded a little bit rushed. Ya da 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 dum. Slowly. Ya da 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 dum. Hold the F a little longer. Ya da 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 dum. But don't stop tapping the eighth note with the other hand, please. That's important. Good. Now don't put an accent on the F. That's the last thing is don't put an accent on the F like this. Watch me do it once. So it should be. I'm tapping on my. I guess it's easier. And 2 and 3 and. I'm not putting an accent on the and. I'm doing ya da da dum, ya da da dum, not pa 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 pum, pa 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 pum. That would be an accent. Ya da da dum, ya da da dum. Try again.
Whoops, sorry.
That's fine. That's nice, Ruth. That's very nice. Okay, so I want you to get really comfortable with that mechanism of tapping the eighth note with the left hand and playing the right hand on time. And then gradually we're going to substitute the tapping in the left hand for the triplet like this. You're still going to leave out the last 3 notes of that measure. Excuse me, the last 2 notes of that measure. You're still going to leave them out for a little while. And then later on, we're going to reintroduce, the last stage will be to reintroduce those 2 notes that we left out, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So let's try it once with the left hand, right hand and left hand together. When you get to the C, leave out the A flat and the G in the left, and the G flat in the left hand, but keep playing the 4/32 notes the way you were doing just now.
Do you want me to start at that measure or
Yeah.
before?
68 is perfect. Right on the money at 68. Okay, but now you're rushing it again. Remember how it was? 3 and 2 and 3 and yup, up, up, up. So it should sound more like this. Ya da da dum, ya da da dum. Think of a violin player playing ya da 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 dum, da dee. Yeah, but don't play the last two notes of the left hand. Leave out the
Just
left.
a habit now.
Yeah.
So let me break it.
Yeah. Yeah, but do play the F. The next beat, play the F. I would advise you to continue playing the triplets in the left hand on the next measure. Just leave out those two notes. So we're gonna do 68 and the downbeat of 69, please. Okay, let's go back to counting the playing the right hand by itself and tapping the left hand eighth note, please. Whoop. No, you came in early. Careful. It should be with a left hand. With the last. Okay, so let me count it once for you. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 1. You're coming in before the end. Maybe you can count it out loud for me as you're playing, please.
1 and 2
And 3. One more time, please. The internet cut out a little bit. Do it one more time, please. 68.
1 and 2 and 3 and 1.
That's right. Just don't rush. Don't rush the and. Yep. So another way that you could practice this, Ruth, is we're doing it. Are we doing 75? Yeah. Let's do 70. I think 70 might be a little better tempo for this one. So we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and. This one I think would be important to practice with a metronome at 70, which is about the tempo you're playing right now. And really get used to playing those 30-second notes really evenly. Ya-da-da-da-dum. So,
And lyrically.
just lyrical, exactly. To save you a little bit of time, this is going to be the mechanism for you to relearn these measures. Half the time you're going to be playing the right hand and tapping the left hand, counting out loud. And then the other time you're going to be playing the triplet and leaving the last two 16 notes out until you're really comfortable with that version. Once you're comfortable with that version, then you can try to reinsert those 16 notes at the end of that measure.
Okay.
But you're very, very close. You're very, very. We still have plenty of time, but we still have to go to Debussy, right?
I knew it was going to be like this, but I wanted you to hear a little bit of everything.
Of course, no, absolutely. And by the way, I don't mind giving you a little more time. I don't want to spend too much time on this because it'll come once I give you the instruction. I think you can carry out the rest. Tell me what other sections you have on this Haydn.
The last page, which is measure. You see the group of 12.
Yep.
Anytime I have those, I don't even know how to begin to play those quickly enough.
Okay.
And I don't know how to practice them to get them any faster. So
Okay.
I just slow way down and play them like eighth notes.
The short answer is with a little bit of luck. Yeah, the real answer is you have to take the eighth note and you have to learn how to play 6 to the eighth note. Right? So we're still doing 70 to the eighth note. So you're coming from. You should be able to play. By the way, it doesn't help matters that he starts with a rest. That's really awful. That's just a really bad joke.
You can use that note on your left hand.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want you to count 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 with the eighth note. And then the rest is going to be. And when you do that a couple times,
You're telling me to divide it up into pieces like that?
that's exactly right. I want you to subdivide the 12 into 6 and 6. Get very comfortable playing 6 plus 1 and then 6 plus 1. In other words, you're going to play from the D in the left hand to the D in the right hand. Does that make sense? Use your left hand to play the downbeat the way you're going to do it in real time. Yeah. Watch me do it once on the screen. It should be 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and. That's easy enough for you. I know you can do this.
Well,
But don't rush it. Ya ta 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 tam. Ya pa 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 pam. You're doing too fast. Ya pa 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 pam. Ya pa 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 pam. Do me a favor. Can you tap the eighth note with me? Tap the eighth note. And say ya pa 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 pam. Ya pa 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 pam.
Yapapapapapam. Yapapapapapam.
That's perfect. Ya pa 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 pam. Right. It's not as fast as you think it is, Ruth. It's a little slower. Ya pa 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 pam. 1 and 1 and. Also, if you want to practice it with a metronome, it's probably a good idea. Ya pa 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 pam. Ya pa 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 pam. Ya pa 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 pam. And then playing it. And then the last 6 notes will be like this. Altogether is going to be right.
Yes.
It's not as hard or as fast. I think the main problem here is you thinking it's really fast. It's not that fast.
Okay. Well, what I've been doing is trying to just increase the metronome, and that's not working.
Well, subdivide it into 6 first. Do 6 plus 6.
Okay. Same question down a little further towards the end, about 4 or 5 measures from the end. You see that little dealy there?
You have a 13.
So are you going to do the same thing there? You're going to find a way to divide that evenly?
You're gonna do 6. No, you're gonna do 6 first and then 7. So practice 6 plus 1 and then 7 plus 1. You're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. This is on the 2, right? 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and then you're gonna do. That's just 1 octave scale, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Once again,
my right hand is going to do all of that. I'm not going to divide that between the hands.
no, that would be crazy. That would be, yeah, definitely use your right hand only. Play the B flat major, fingering. Yeah, that's doable, but make sure again take the 8th note as your guiding value and to practice 6 plus 1 and then 7 plus 1. So we're subdividing the 13 note into 6 plus 7. It's totally within your grasp, Ruth. This is gonna once you get it, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe I couldn't do that before.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's beautiful. It really is. Yeah, yeah, it's gorgeous. So I can't wait to hear you play this.
Do you want to hear any of the rest of it, or are we done with it?
You know, so we have about I don't know 15 minutes for the Debussy. I'd rather go to Debussy if that's okay with you. I mean, but you know what? You're the boss, so you decide. You tell me what you want to do.
No, that's fine. It's a good idea.
Okay,
I'll play it for you next time.
sounds good. So let me go to Files, find the other scroll. Files Romantique. I love this little piece.
I know this one by memory. Would you like me to use the music, or you want me to play it
No,
from memory?
if you have it by memory, by all means, play it by memory. Sure.
Okay, there may be a hiccup or two, but I'll recover.
I need to get a cup of water, which is right here. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to fill up my cup of water.
Okay.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Ruth.
Oh, before I start, has the sound been all right? Okay.
Very good. Yes. Yeah, beautiful. Nice work. Very nice work. And congratulations on memorizing all this music. My God. Does that sounds to me, it seems to me like it comes easy to you, or is there a lot of work involved?
It comes easy.
Yeah.
Music comes really easy to me.
To memorize.
If I had the nerve, I would have played the Etude memorized. I have the Bach memorized. This is memorized.
Good for you. That's really good. Before I forget, let me mention a couple of things. Let's work back
Yes.
from the end. The last measure is 140. So it's measure 40, 146.
Okay.
That's a B flat D natural F. It's a B flat major triad. I think you might have learned that wrong. I'm not sure. I believe
Oh,
you played a B natural in there. It should be a B flat. So that's one. That's one note, and then there's another one. Let me go back. One second. I'll find it. My notes. I didn't want to stop you. There is one flat that is not being observed. Where is it?
let's see here.
Where is it? Where is it? It's, I think it's the middle, from the middle to the end. Oh yeah. Is it? Yeah. Measure 98. That should be a C flat in the left hand. You're playing a C natural,
Oh, wow. Okay, got it.
right? Other than that, here is my main. I just wish that the sound over the internet was a little bit better. Um, I can't hear the dynamics very well. That's one thing. The pianissimos, especially. Um, I guess the combination of the pianissimo and Ruth. My main observation would be the triplets. This piece has a section, many sections that are um, all triplet. Um they're triplet motion, right? There's one,
Yes.
two, five, 6 or 7 measures worth of continuous triplet. Um, Actually, groups of 6 notes, even though they're written as triplets, they're groups of 6 notes. And the triplet, I want you to think of the triplet more as a unit. I would compare it to a tiny little, if you can imagine a tiny little parachute with an object, a parachute carrying an object, and then
Mm-hmm.
if your parachute is not well inflated, that object is going to sink down to the bottom of the earth really fast, right? But if your parachute is well inflated, especially if you can inject air underneath that parachute, it's going to float really nicely. Yum, pum, pum.
Okay.
So think about injecting more air, blowing more air under each triplet, so that the triplet has a more floaty feel. They sound a little bit rushed, and I think they're supposed to sound exactly the opposite of rushed. They're supposed to give a feeling of laid back, floaty, right? That's what he wants to do or what the triplet does in general. And again, maybe a combination of metronome, but more importantly, you're such a good singer. You have such incredible musicianship skills. I would implore you to sing this section. If we go back to measure, the first time this happens is in measure 12. When you get to the C major section, all of this. Right? So if you're coming from coming from 1. Excuse me. Pianissimo. Yum bum 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 yum bum 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 bum. This one is important with the metronome. So you're coming from bum
So
bum.
you don't rush those?
Not at all. Oh, not even close. Quite the opposite. I need you to hold them back. Actually, not just play them on time. You're coming from. That's a little slow. Your tempo is what, around 72, maybe? Is your tempo about 72? What is your current tempo?
That's about right. 72, 75, something like that.
Let's say 76 just to be safe. 70. So at 76, I want you to be able to sing la la dum la di ya dum da di da 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 di da yum bum 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 bum. 1 and a 2 and 3 and yum bum 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 bum.
Okay.
But you know,
The
if
reason I was rushing them is I thought that that's what
I didn't hear that, I'm sorry, you got cut out.
stretto, where it says stretto above that section at measure 12. At least my copy does. I thought that that meant to speed up a little bit.
I didn't see the stretto. I did not see the stretto at all. Okay, so that's why you're pushing the tempo.
That's why I was doing that, but if that's incorrect, I won't do it.
No, it's not incorrect at all. I just didn't see the stretto. Hello. Sorry about that, Ruth.
That's okay.
Let's see. You know what I would say then? Try to make the stretto in groups of 6, so that when you start racing the tempo, it's a unit of 6. Sometimes I think it gets broken up a little choppy. Try to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Maybe you know what I would do? I would practice. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna practice the first note of every triplet. You're gonna practice it like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Leave out the triplet and just play the downbeats of each triplet grouplet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Does that make sense? Would you mind trying that for me at 12?
C, D. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Like that?
That's exactly right. So the tempo that we're playing right now is 2, 3. Try it again. 2, 3.
What? I got off on the wrong.
That's fine.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1.
Right.
Like that?
That's right. Okay, so once you have good control over that, then you can start really speeding it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's gonna feel much more natural if you start speeding it up.
Okay.
Try it a little bit faster, about 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Oh man,
Right.
that's gonna take some practice. But 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
the other thing I'm seeing is the other way you could count this, I think would make a lot of sense if you're counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2. Excuse me. 1 and 2, and yeah, it's a hemiola, so it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3. Let me put the score up on the screen. Do I still have it here? I transferred it to my iPad. How do I do this? How do I do it? Give me a second. I know I can do this. Look at the screenshot. And yeah. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen with you with the iPad. It's coming up. The cable wasn't on. Okay, so notice how we're coming from counting. We're coming from counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And now we're
Yeah.
count all of this is 1, this is 2, this is 3,
Oh,
and this is going to be 1, 2,
2,
and 3.
3.
If you can feel it that way, if you can feel the hemiola that way, kind of like a larger, like a compound hemiola, really, is what it is, then the stretto is going to feel a lot more natural. Because it sounded a little bit. Well, first of all, I didn't see the stretto, and I'm sorry about that. But
That's okay.
once you do the stretto, I think it needs to feel a little bit more organic, as opposed to just taking off. And felt a little bit frantic. And we don't ever want to sound frantic. We want to sound like it's ya da 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 ya da da da, almost like a harp player, right? A harp player does these large strokes, and if they get a lot of notes in one swift, pull. I think that's the kind of effect that Debussy is going for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So this is going to be on the video. You'll be able to see it there better. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that it does feel forced when I play it. Like, oh my God, here it comes. Ah! And I hate that.
Other than that, let me see if I have any other comments for you, Debussy. We talked about the dynamics, especially the pianissimo. You need to bring the dynamics a lot softer on the pianissimo. And yeah, he also writes tempo rubato, which I think would be nice. For example, at measure 27. So that means don't play it exactly on the beat. Maybe play faster, play slower. Try to elongate. There is a section in here. We go back to pianissimo at 59. That should be a lot softer. And yeah, there is a forte. Here it is. 77, 78, 78, 79. That section really, if I look at the score, if I'm not looking at the score and I'm listening to you playing and I'm wondering if she's playing forte, that's not good. When you play forte, there should be no question that you're playing forte in anybody's mind. So this is, think about the orchestra coming in or adding more voices, which he's doing actually. He's making a forte in a very natural way by going to the extreme registers. He's playing a double octave on the low register. He's playing double octaves on the right hand, also at extreme registers, and he's also adding an umpa in the second beat. So very natural textural forte, but you still have to help a little bit more by virtue of playing louder and playing more inside the key to really broaden the sound much more there. And
Okay.
the same thing at 85, 84. I would say play louder. Don't let anybody guess whether you're playing forte. Make sure they know that you are playing forte. And then 98 again, super soft. I don't hear the suddenly. I don't hear the super soft. I only heard somewhat mildly soft. So try to have more fun, I would say, with the dynamics, Ruth.
Okay.
Let's see
I know there's these instant soft things that are really hard for me.
Right. And then, of course, at the very end, we have a double forte. This is where you let your hair down, and you just go for it. Double forte, like really loud, with forzandos on really loud. So he wants a very bombastic type of, end with a bang type of finale here for this piece. Again, I'm not sure that I love the ending of this piece. As I'm starting to learn, I'm writing a lot more music lately. I'm starting to realize that finishing a piece is not easy.
Right.
It's really not easy. But he wants a bombastic type of finale. Make sure that he gets what he's asking for there with a double forte.
Okay.
Okay, so now do you have any questions for me?
No, I think that's it. The only thing that I wonder if you noticed
Hmm.
was where it's page 89, measure 50, the right hand has the melody.
Tell me which measure again. You got cut out a little.
59.
Measure 59. Oh yeah.
Did you hear those triplets and that 2 against 3?
Perfect.
Okay.
Totally fine.
It just needs to be softer.
It just needs to be softer. Yeah, keep the right hand a little bit louder, but yeah, I thought that the 3 against 2 was done beautifully. I didn't see any. I didn't hear any qualms there. Again, if you ever wonder, if you're ever curious about whether your right hand is sounding correctly, which it should be the main driving force here is the right hand because it's a melody. What I would do there, Ruth, I would play the first note of every triplet group, but leave out the second and third notes of that out of every triplet. So you can practice like this. At 15 it will sound like this. See, I'm leaving out the second and third notes of each triplet. I'm leaving those notes out. I'm just playing. Excuse me. Bum 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 bum. Da 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 ya da dum. And the more you can sing it, right? As you maybe you're even clapping the underlying beat, la 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 la. Try to get it into your system somehow, integrate it, and then gradually bring back the triplet figures by adding the second and third notes back in. That's
Just
always
like in Haydn.
just like the high note. That's always. I mean, that method never fails. You create a similar version to it until you can really get the melody ingrained the way it's supposed to feel, and then you sneak in the stuff that you left out originally.
Okay. That was all, I think.
So I have to say congratulations on the amount of music you're learning, and you're sounding beautiful. You're sounding wonderful, by the way. You look so good at the piano. You look so natural and relaxed. I mean, it's really a joy to watch you play. So yeah,
I
nice,
love being here.
nice work, Ruth. Carry on doing what you're doing. You're really putting something beautiful together.
Okay, last question is about practice.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, I tend to sit down and take every practice session, I'll take a piece and work on it.
Mhm.
But my pieces are kind of long.
Yeah.
So most of my practice time will be playing what I already know. Is it considered, would it be better for me just to open up the Haydn and work on that one little piece of it that we worked on today? Or should I play through the whole thing and try to glue it all together? Do you know what I'm asking?
Yeah. Yes, I do know what you're asking. I think the answer is you need to do both in order for you to really have um, complete. In order for you to be able to put the program in a really musical way so that it's ready and you're happy with the musicality, you can play as musically as you can play. You need to play through the pieces so that they become more and more organic, right? It's really important for you to play. But in order for the program to be strong in certain sections, you also have to do the sectional work.
Okay.
I think maybe if you could subdivide your day into what I notice works best for me is that if I'm getting ready for a concert or some type of event or whatever it might be, if I can find three practice sessions throughout the day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening, then I know this is very hard. This is very challenging at times. But if you can find those, then you can do a little bit of work in the more early in the morning. I like doing the sectional work because that requires a lot more of my mind to how I'm going to parse things and really inject all of that energy. And then in the afternoon, I'll play maybe a slightly longer section. And then in the evening, I'll run through the piece because that doesn't require, it requires a different kind of energy, but I don't need
Right.
to be as present. I can just play through the things. Or maybe even twice, two sessions per day, where you can do one in the morning that is more busy work, sectional work. I would encourage you to practice small sections, no more than four measures and a downbeat. Really work on them with a metronome, singing, clapping, one hand at a time with the other hand tapping. Lately, I've been tapping here a lot. It seems to work better for me than tapping on my lap. I can integrate things better if I tap here. And that way you can leave the other session for playing through larger sections. Maybe not necessarily entire pieces, but maybe you can play through I don't know, a good chunk of the variations of the Haydn, or you can play through the whole Debussy, or you can play through the Dvorak. And I would also encourage you when you're doing that type of work, where you're playing through these pieces, by all means record yourself and then listen to the recording with the score.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you need to know. It's like a good chef. I mean, you can't be the best chef in town if you don't taste your own food, right?
Okay.
So
True enough.
yeah, you have to. And by the way, listening to yourself is not always easy, but you're sounding so good, you're going to be really happy.
I love playing.
Okay, well, good for you, Ruth. By the way, I listened to that trio that you sent me. The three ladies. What was it? Something or other. Uh, a piece of yours that somebody else was playing. It had a guitar and it had a flute in it and piano.
Oh yeah, dance with me.
No, it had excuse me, it had violin and piano and what else?
I think they had a guitar.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, guitar, violin, and piano. That's lovely, by the way. That's really lovely. How old is that piece?
I wrote it when I was in class with you, so I think I wrote it in 2000, 1999, something like that.
Wow. Yeah, that was just lovely. I really enjoyed that.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. Anyway, thank you for the lesson.
Of course, anytime. It's such a joy to work with you. Anytime. Let me know when you're ready. If you want to get together again, you know where to find me.
All right. It'll probably be another month or so. I'm going to make myself work hard and then we'll check in.
That's fine. That's great. Take your time. Just let me know ahead of time. If you could give me maybe 2 weeks notice so I can plan it.
I will.
And as soon as this recording of our session is available, I will email you the link so you have it.
Okay.
Okay. Give my.
All right.
It's good to see you. Take care.
Good to see you too. Bye bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And the same to you.
Okay. Bye bye now.
Bye bye.